Hello again, I am back, and as promised, today I'll be discussing fan theories, i.e. the process in which fans engage with a piece of media and make predictions about a story or character development. But first, a quick thank you to my wonderful patrons for making this episode possible. Now I want to preface this with the fact that I like fan theories. I enjoy creating fan theories. I have no real issue with fan theories. Heck, I've even heard a few times where fan theories would often be argued to be better than what happened. Looking at you, Westworld! But with that respect and love for fan theories in mind, I do think that they can sometimes be run away with a bit and create issues. I am going to be utilising the RWBY fan theory of Nora being Freya's granddaughter and the future Winter Maiden for this episode. However, that is merely for convenience, as this argument can be applied to many series, though in some cases it brushes up against an issue of tone, but that's for another day. So, as it stands, the theory of Nora being tied to Freya has some decent grounding. We don't know much about Nora's background, Nora doesn't seem surprised by Mantle's neglect, someone on the show said Nora would be getting focus, Freya and Nora's names are pulled from the same pantheon. Thus, many assumed that Freya was some half-forgotten grandmother, a far better paternal figure than the mother that left Nora behind and would pass the powers on to her instead of Winter. What happened is that when Ironwood was frightened by Cinder announcing her presence, he hastily sent Winter to use the aura transfer machine with Penny as her guard for the process for his own plans. Which directly led Cinder to the Winter Maiden, just as planned. And culminated in a multi-pronged fight, Freya revealing her powers greater than Cinder's, and the cold wave she created being too much for some without aura to break through. Penny's aura, or just her mechanical nature, did allow her to break through the ice barrier, and her show of concern for Freya is what made Freya realise that Penny was the girl she'd been waiting for. Thus allowing her to fulfill her thematic role as the Blue Fairy, she validated Penny's identity and sense of self by making her the new Winter Maiden. Now, as noted, I like fan theories, and the Winter Maiden Nora one was fine. I even enjoyed it myself. It would use some established lore, i.e. names, character backstories, and statements both in-universe and out to suggest a connection that would smoothly justify the end result. I think it had some holes, like how Nora got to Anima in the first place, as well as the fact that her experiences with homelessness would also justify her expecting the worst from people with the power to help but not the desire to do so. Plus aspects like why wouldn't someone draw attention to the name connection or some other factor to foreshadow this when she was introduced, as well as raising the question as what this would add to Nora's character, be it her own arc or thematically, let alone next volume. But nitpicking is ultimately unhelpful. Do I think that RT could have pulled it off? Yeah, I suppose. But just because they can doesn't mean they should. Just because an idea had traction doesn't make it better than the surprise that we got. I think it's very easy for an idea to be more popular than execution. An idea, a premise without an actual story attached, is unspent potential. The bowl is most full when it is empty. This makes it very easy for everyone who sees an idea to have their ideal version of it in their heads, personally tailored to their desires. This would not happen if said fan theory, any fan theory, was utilised in any piece of media. It would be subject to the same struggles and challenges of any other story concept and almost certainly run headlong into its own share of problems, be it in execution or audience reaction. Ultimately, a premise is not a budget, an idea is not a show, and a concept is not an execution. So while fan theories remain fun and can even be right or great, I am eternally wary of giving them too much personal purchase in favour of what's on screen, especially when it comes to analysis. But those are just my thoughts on the subject at time of writing. I've waffled once or twice in the past to be sure, and unlike mathematics, media analysis is not one size fits all for rules. But ultimately, I feel fairly comfortable with my conclusion, but what about you? Feel free to leave your take in the comments section. Oh, and if you'd like to help out with episodes or commission 3D models, please swing by my Patreon or Ko-fi for scripts, early uploads, models, and more. For now though, thanks for stopping by.